welcome to another video of solar power. So guys, continuing with our last video that I have recorded on DC cable sizing. Today we are going to see, after we have sized our DC cable or after we have selected the thickness of our DC cable, what will be the losses on that particular design. So coming with the losses, the first thing that comes in our mind, that is our power loss, that is in percentage. So how we calculate the power loss in our system? So we have a formula given over here. Our power loss percentage is equal to I MPP square, that means the operating current square, into R into L, okay, whole multiplied by 100 divided by total power. So guys, as we know, previously we have seen our operating current for the module we have selected was 8.5 ampere, okay. So here in this formula, if we put all the values, like we have R values, okay, we have L values, and we have IMPP. Now L value, how are we getting the L value? We have taken the length of the line to be as 120 meters. So we have assumed it. It can be 100 meter as well. So if we change it in 100 meter, the percentage will change, okay. So let's take it as 100 meter length we are taking. Okay, so we have taken the number of module in series for a string is 20, and our parallel string number is 1. We have taken here. Our rated watt peak was previously given as 320 watt peak, and here you can see our operating current, as I have shown you, it's 8.5 ampere. So how we are getting this total power? The total power that you are getting is by multiplying. This is the total power you have to calculate now. Here in the formula, the total power is, you can see here, G40 H38 into H39, that is multiplied. So what is G40? G40 is 320 watt peak. That is the watt peak of a single module, that is G40 here. Then we go to H38. What is H30? Number of module we have in series, and H39 is how many parallel string we have. So if we make it 2, our total power will increase. See, it is increased, and our power loss percentage has decreased. So as we have designed this for one parallel string in an array, so we will be keeping it 1. So after putting everything in this formula that you have given here, P loss percentage is equal to IMPP square into R into L into 100 divided by total power, we are getting 0.5746 percentage of power loss. So after designing our system, we can say that, calculating this with this formula, you can say that this will be our total power loss for the system. There is another loss, that is our voltage drop or voltage loss, you can say. So what is V drop? V drop is equal to operating current IMPP into R into L into 100 divided by total input voltage. So guys, you can see here our operating voltage of the module was 37.7 volt, that is VMPP, okay. Now the total input voltage, that will be VMPP number of PV modules in series. So how many modules we are having in series? We are having here, you can see here, 20 modules in series, okay. So our VMPP 37.7 into 20, we get 754 voltage. That is our total input voltage, okay. So therefore our cable power loss will be according to the formula, you can see here. So we are having IMPP value over here. Here we have the IMPP value 8.5. We have the R value here. I'll show you one second. What was our R value? We got our R value from here. That was the our resistance 0.005009 ohm per meter, which was like 5.09 ohm per kilometer square. From where we got this value? We got this value from the data sheet we used previously. The data sheet of the cable we used previously, there the maximum resistance value was given for certain square meter of cable. For 4 square meter of cable, the resistance value was given in the sheet previously, which I have showed you in the last video. So guys, if you want to see the last video, I have given the link in this I button over here. In this I button over here, I have given the link. So you can go and you can click in the I button, and you can see the last video which I have uploaded about the DC cable sizing. So you will get a better idea if you watch both the videos continuously, okay. So from that data sheet you have got this 5.09 ohm per kilometer, and as we have given 100 meters as our length of the cable, so we are taking it in meter, so we are making it ohm per meter, and we are giving this value over here for calculation of R for each formula. For power loss also the same R we are using, for voltage loss also we are using the same R value, and we are getting a voltage drop as 0.5738. So guys, these are mainly the two losses formulas you have to calculate while designing a system. That is like stating that this much percentage of will be having voltage drop, and this much percentage of will be having power drop or power loss. So this is important, guys. Now come to the DC fuse selection. So we have got our DC string, DC string size. Now we have to rate our fuse. So how are we going to rate our fuse? So normally the fuse rating is given by either you can multiply your operating current or IMP with 1.56, or you can multiply your short circuit current, that is ISC, with 1.25, that is the margin, or after calculating the losses, that is the margin you have to multiply. So we knew previously that our ISC was here. I will show you once again. Our I short circuit was somewhere, our ISC was 9.03 ampere. You can see here it's 9.03 ampere. So after multiplying this 9.03 with this size margin, that is 1.25, okay, we are getting a value of 13.26 ampere. So 13.26 ampere, if you are going to market to purchase a fuse, you won't be getting 13.26 ampere. So you have to take the fuse rating nearby 13.26. Either you can take 15 or you can take 14 ampere available. So in market you will be getting standard values. So you have to select one among them. Okay. So this is our fuse rating. So basically for this kind of ampere rating, 15 ampere is suggested. Now you will see our DC cable selection from SMU to inverter. So guys, to explain that, I am going to show you one picture here. So guys, as you can see here, if you are imagining suppose this is our solar plant. So we have like few modules in series making a string, a positive string and a negative string, another few modules in series making a positive string and negative string, another like that. Suppose it's in this picture it's showing 4 modules just, but you can consider it or assume it as like 20 modules in series and making a single string of positive and making a single string of negative, like that, like another 20 modules in series making a single string of positive and single string of negative, as per the calculation we are doing in that technical data sheet. Okay, so just assuming that, you can see here like positive strings are going to the positive side of the SCB and negative strings are going to the negative side of the SCB. Now inside the SCB, so inside the SCB all the strings are getting combined and becoming a single positive and a single negative, which will go to the inverter. Because in a big plant where it is like megawatt scale projects where we are doing, so in that kind of plants what used to happen, there are like 40 strings or 40, suppose 40 tables are there, where in each tables or in each arrays there are like 20 modules are connected in series, and from each we are getting one positive and one negative. So it's not possible that many number of string will be putting inside the inverter, because you will be having one big central inverter. So one central inverter or two central inverter or three central inverter, depending on the size of the plant. So at that time it is not possible to put that many numbers of string inside the inverter. So what we used to do, we used to make one string combiner box, that is SCB, and we used to give all the positive. For suppose we make 20, suppose take it a 20 array, we are making one system for a single SCB. So in this SCB we will give 20 positive strings and 20 negative strings. From there we will combine all the positive strings and all the negative strings, and we will make one positive string and one negative string, and we will put it to the inverter. So this is the this is the connection calculation for that particular cable, which cable is going from SCB to inverter. How you select the size of this particular cable, which is going from string combiner box to inverter. In my last video I have explained like what will be the size for the strings which is coming from module to the string combiner box. Now in this video I am going to tell you what will be the size for the cables which is going from string combiner box to inverter. So guys, again I am telling you, if you want to get clarified much more, you can click in this I button and you can go and check my previous video. That will be easier for you guys to understand. So guys, coming to the technical data sheet, you can see here there is a note like all the strings will get combined in the SMU or SCV. You can both are same thing, SMU or SCV are same thing, string combiner box, and a single pair of DC will go to the inverter. It will become a single pair of DC. Now enter the specification for the DC we have selected. So suppose we have selected one 300 square mm DC DC cable for the cable which is going from string combiner box to inverter. We have taken 300 square mm. Now our rated voltage, now again as same as the last video, you have to go to the data sheet of that particular cable which you are selecting, and you have to check what are the your current carrying capacity of the cable in different condition, and what are the other ratings, like what are the rated voltage, what are the working voltage, what are the maximum resistance of that voltage. So I have already given this value here. So you can see the rated DC voltage is 1.1 kV. Working voltage is 1000 volt DC, maximum resistance is 0.1 ohm per kilometer square or 0.0001 ohm per meter. Okay, so our current carrying capacity for this 300 square mm cable was 514 amps at 20 degree with 0.0001 ohm per meter. Okay, so we have taken our entire length of that particular cable is 425 meters. Suppose we are going to extend that cable 425 meter. So the same thing you have to see here. You have to calculate that current carrying capacity of that particular cable. So how you will calculate the current carrying capacity of particular cable? By knowing the Imax. So how you will calculate the Imax? So Imax is equal to IMPV into number of parallel strings. Okay, so how many parallel strings we are connecting, that will get multiplied with our operating current of the particular photovoltaic system. Okay, so as you can see here, our operating current was 8.72 for single module, as I have showed you previously. So here our operating current was 8.5 ampere for a single module. Okay, so here how we will get the Imax value when we are calculating the DC power cable selection? So that time what we will do is we will multiply that particular operating current with the number of parallel string. Okay, so as you can see, enter the number of DC string input in the SMU. So we have taken 15 parallel string out over here. Sorry, 15 strings which is going to the combiner box. So we have taken total 15 number of strings which is going to one string combiner box, and we have two suppose parallel string. So what will be our Imax? Or Imax will be multiplication of these three. How come multiplication of these three? Because our each module is having 8.72 ampere current, that is our operating current. So we have 15 total such strings. So each string will be giving 8.72 ampere current, because suppose if we are having 20 modules also in a single string, then also the output current will be 8.72 because it's in series. But we have 15 numbers of input string to that particular string combiner box, and our two such tables are making a single array. So number of parallel string in a single array is 2. So we have to multiply 8.72, 15 and 2, and we will be getting our total Imax value. This is the maximum current that is going to flow to the power cable. Okay, so if that maximum value is less than our current carrying capacity of that current carrying capacity of the cable, then it will be okay, our system will satisfy. Now when you are going to calculate the current carrying capacity, we have to take one thing in mind, that is our derating current carrying capacity, because there will be one derating factor, as same as the last thing how we calculated the DC cable size from module to string combiner box. For the power cable box also same thing, only the difference is here. That is, previously what we are doing I short circuit into our I short circuit with our some margin we used to calculate, and we used to get our that Imax. But here what we are getting the value of IMP of the module selected, of a single module operating current we are taking, we are taking how many strings that is going to the string combiner box, and we are taking how many parallel string for a single array. Okay, so we are multiplying all the three values and we are getting our maximum current that is going to flow through the power cable. Now we have selected a 300 square mm power cable already. Now we have to calculate the derating factor. So how you can calculate the derating factor? There are few factors like variant in ambient temperature, depth of laying the cable in the ground. Suppose the cable is laid in the ground, okay, so then there is one derating factor. Now grouping factor, suppose two or more cables are going together, we are grouping two or more cables and we are sending it to the inverter, then there is another factor. And our thermal resistivity of the soil, that is 1. So it is going underground, so there will be one thermal resistivity of the soil, that is 1. So we have to calculate all this derating factor. So after calculating all the derating factor, it's just an addition, multiplication of all this derating factor, we are getting, here you can see 0.514779, that is our total derating factor. So we have to multiply this derating factor with the current carrying capacity, that is 514 ampere of our selected power cable. So once we are multiplying this current carrying capacity with this derating factor which we have calculated here, we will be getting a derating current carrying factor, that is 264.5964. So this derating current carrying capacity should always be greater than your Imax. This is the main lookout, guys. Our derating current carrying capacity should always be greater than our Imax. Then only our system is okay and system is going to satisfy all the norms. Okay. So if this derating current carrying capacity is getting lower, then there is a risk. Then this lower than the Imax, then the system is not properly installed. There is a faulty system, you can say that. Okay. So guys, we have to take care of this thing. We have to just make this derating current carrying capacity always greater than our Imax. So here we have written here, as you can see here, you should keep in mind that the value of DCC should always be greater than the value of Imax, that is where is suitable even after derating. Okay. So guys, we can also do the power loss calculation for the power cable that we have selected. Just now we selected the size for the power cable, or we have calculated the size of the power cable that we are going to select for such given system. So after that we have to calculate the power loss for that particular DC cables or DC power cables we have selected. So the formula will be same, the total operating current square into resistance into length of the current multiplied by 100 divided by the total power. So how you will get the total operating current? So as we know, our operating current of a single module is 8.72 ampere and we have 20 modules in series. So for a single series line or single series string, our current will be same as 8.72 operating current because all are in series. Now such two series arrays are making one parallel string. Okay, so here the current for a single string after getting two series arrays in a parallel connection, the current output of that single string will become 8.72 multiplied by 2, and we have 15 numbers of such string going as an input to our string combiner box. So our total operating current will be 8.72 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 15, which will give us 261.6. So we got our total operating current. Now we need the resistance, that is R. So previously when we selected this, selected the cable from website, so we got in that website the resistance value of that particular current, so that is 0.0001 ohms per meter square. So we got this resistance as well, so our R value will be this one, and we have to get the length. So here you can see we have taken the length as 425 meter, so our total length is 425 meter. So we will put this value here in this formula, and after that we will multiply it by 100 and divided it by total power. So what will be our total power? Our total power will be multiplication of the single module power into the number of array into the number of total modules into the number of total inputs in that particular system. So this will give our total power. You can see I have given the formula G93 into H89 into H90 into H88. So here you can see G93 is 325 watt peak. Then H89 is our 20 numbers of modules in a series string. Then H90, that is two series arrays are making one parallel string here. So multiplied by 2 into H88, which is the number of inputs in the string combiner box. So multiplying all this value, we will get our total power, and our the length of the wire we have already given for 25 meters. So when we put all this value in this formula, we will get our total power loss as 1.4915%. Now the voltage drop formula is again same. V drop percentage total, your operating current into resistance into length into 100 divided by total input voltage. So our voltage of individual PV module is 37.3. This is our operating voltage. From where we got this? From the first chart where we have taken the module voltage. You can see here for each module we have 37.7 volt. That is our operating voltage of each module. Okay, so that operating voltage is 37.7 volt. Now we have total input voltage is our operating voltage into number of PV module in series. So how many number of PV module we have in series? That is 20 numbers of PV modules we have in series. Okay, so our operating voltage is 37.3 multiplied by that 20 will give us 746. That is the volt. Okay, now the cable power loss, we will put all this value in formula. So we have our total operating current, that is 261.6. we have our resistance 0.0001 ohm. You can see here we have got this from the data sheet of the cable. We have the resistance of the cable 0.0001 ohm per meter, and we have the length as well, that is 425 meter. We will put all this in this formula divided by the total voltage, that is 746. We will get our voltage drop value, that is 1.4903. So guys, this is how we used to calculate our voltage drop, power loss, and also used to select the DC power cable which is going from string combiner box to the inverter. So I hope this video is little bit helpful for you people, and I was able to clarify the things to you. So if you guys have any doubt, you can ask me in the comment section, or if you want this particular Excel sheet, then you can connect me in LinkedIn. My LinkedIn profile is given in the description of this video, so you can go over there and you can connect me, and you can directly message me, or you can ask me in the comment section as well. You can ask me by putting your email ID, so I will be sending this particular Excel sheet to your mail. So guys, that's all. So if you like this video guys, please like, share, and don't forget to subscribe, and please press the bell button after subscribing, because I'll be coming with such new more calculative videos and technical data sheets. So these are going to be real help for you people who are up to the solar industry and who are student looking to come into the solar industry. For those people it will be really helpful. So guys, please like, share, comment and subscribe, and I will catch you guys in my next vlog. Thank you so much. Thank you for watching my videos. Have a nice day.